Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you so much for joining and your interest about coaching tired teams. And the whole journey for me started more than 10 years ago when I realized that I was severely burnt out myself. So I started thinking how I can recover. I started looking for information and for the help and professional help. And then I realized that if we continue working with the people in the same way as thinking that they are in normal mental state, we can do really worse. So a lot of agile coaching practices, and in fact main coaching practice, that is grow model, is not suitable for the tired teams, for the tired people. And what I'm currently doing, I'm collecting techniques, and I will share 4 techniques in this webinar. Overall, there are more than 40, so it's less than 10% of the course. There are more than 40 techniques that you need to know to be able to help and yourself and your tired team or the people around you. I'm Anna Obukhova. I'm Agile coach and managing partner in Scrum Track. It's an Agile consulting company from Russia, and I'm international coach and speaker. So I'm traveling all over the world, and the way that I'm from St. Petersburg just means that I have a home airport that is in St. Petersburg. That's it. I've spent much more time traveling than sitting at home. Okay, yeah. Few words about me. I'm in Agile since 2004. I'm an Agile coach, and I was Scrum Master, then Project Program and Portfolio Manager. And a year ago, I returned back from London, where I was a Portfolio Manager in 200 years Swiss bank, and we had 500 people working in our portfolio. It's about 60 teams. But what I realized that even when we have this amount of people, when we have so many teams that you can't really know every person in your portfolio, in your teams, I just realized that my background, my initial education in biology allowed me to understand what we do with the process, how we change the process, how we change the way, how we work with people, or how we create tasks, or how we create projects, how it affects the body, how it affects what's happening inside the body and definitely inside the brain, as this is the main force of our well-being. And quite naturally, I then moved from being just a manager. I moved to being an Agile coach with neuroscience like background and neuroscience focus. And currently I'm additionally studying neuroleadership in Neuroleadership Institute to go even deeper in how neuroscience can be mixed with Agile coaching, with leadership, and to bring these insights to me and to you as well. When we are talking about tiredness and burnout, these are very, very close things, but they are different. Tiredness is something that you make some job, do something, and then you feel tired. So you feel distracted, you feel tired, you want to do something else. And then you rest and you feel energized again, and you can go for the next round of job, you can go for the next round activity, you rest then again, and you have this amount of energy again. So tiredness is when you have, so you spend your energy, but naturally energy comes up back again. So you spend again energy, it goes back again. So it's quite stable situation when you can naturally have this energy back. Burnout, unfortunately, it's a downward spiral. When you go, tiredness can be sort of the zero stage of the burnout. So when you don't pay attention that you are tired and don't make effort to recover, it will go into burnout and it will go a downward spiral. I will not go deep currently why it goes that way, because there are several biological mechanisms and reasons why it's happening there. But it's identical for all people. So this mechanism is universal for all people in the world. So it's the way how we are designed. Burnout starts with a great idea. So in fact, the first stage of burnout is amazing. It's an idea that it's currently the perfect time to start a new project, to create a new life, to start something interesting, meaningful, and people put this, not remove something from their life and put this there, but they put this additional activity on top. So they add some pressure here. And people start thinking about themselves attached to the result they really want. This sort of idealism that I really want this result, and I don't care how much it will cost me physically and mentally to reach this result, but because I want it this badly. And it's, in fact, it stops in 3 days. The first day you are still thinking that, oh, I want this result, and your brain gives you a lot of dopamine. Yes, you want this result, there is a lot of excitement. Then the next day, okay, there is not so exciting, but people start using willpower, I still want it, so it starts being logical. And the third day, okay, it's 5 a.m., it's raining outside, I'm not going to jog, so I don't feel well, it doesn't matter if I will skip 1 day, something like that. But if this stopping mechanism doesn't work, so your willpower is really strong and you force yourself to do, very quickly it goes in a thing that is called overtaxing. And it means that people usually call it procrastination. It's neurological stickness when it's really difficult to put yourself into the meaningful task that you really need to do. So you're really easy distracted. But when you are in something nice, like Facebook, like YouTube, something entertaining, it's really difficult to, so it's easier to stay in the process than stop it really and move to another process. And it goes when you, so the result is that you practically cannot concentrate on the things you need to. You are distracted to something nice and easy, and you stick in this nice and easy. And people call this procrastination, but it's really neurological stickness, and this is the first phase of the burnout. In about 2 weeks, it goes to the second phase, that is emotional and physical exhaustion, that feels like that you drink all night and didn't sleep, but really you slept all night and didn't drink at all. It's called like a brain fog. So you're not that sharp, it's not, the brain is not that sharp, your thoughts are a little bit more negative, and you start thinking that, oh, I still want that result, but possibly I'm not that good to really have this result. So people start attaching their self-esteem to the result. And there starts being a little bit of shame that I thought that I'm that good, so I'm that superman or superwoman, that I will reach this result. It seems that I'm not that good inside. And people start overworking as well. So brain is not that brilliant, it's brain fog, it's more difficult to make decisions, the mood is lower, but at the same time, people still want to prove themselves and put more effort in the same job. It's really, it's amazing phase. I'm working as a life coach with people with burnout. And on this phase, what's really people need to do, they need to put something off their plate, but they want to add more. People still want to feel that excitement of the phase one, and they want to add more on their plate. People start jogging, people start sport, and unfortunately people start diet. It's the worst thing that you can do when you are tired or you feel exhausted or you feel not that good, is start dieting, because it's already, so you just reduce the amount of food for your brain. It's really, really bad thing. This phase can proceed for quite a long time, for several months. But then it goes to the third phase. If you don't do anything, it goes to the third phase, when your body understands that you're crazy, and if you proceed the same way, you will be dead. And it's real fear. It's real fear of being dead. And what our brain does, it closes the goal, because the initial goal, the initial desire to have this result moved us to that state. And so people, they don't see the goal. They don't understand why they moved to that condition, why they are taking this action. And everything starts being meaningless. And desires and goals start being really, really simple. You initially wanted to have a meaningful, great job to change the world or something like that. Now any job will fit. You wanted to marry or date with a girl or a boy who really fits you, who you really love. Oh no, now it's a girl or it's a boy, and that's enough. So desires start being really, really simple and really basic in terms of body. So they are more attached to body, not attached to some higher levels of understanding, higher levels of meaning. And people stop communicating. Communication takes energy. Communication takes time and effort. So people don't have this energy. And people start being cynic. People don't care, because caring, again, it takes a lot of energy. And what's happening with the cynicism? So person already is not in very good physical condition. So mood is mainly negative. And people try to find who is the reason, so why it's happening. And if they start blaming themselves, it starts being too heavy. So it starts being overwhelming, and they start blaming others. It's clients who want something crazy. I'm working with awful people. My boss is crazy, and so on. So everyone around is not okay, but I'm fine. Just because understanding and agreeing that I'm not fine, it's really, really heavy here. And the fourth phase, statistically, it takes about a year to go from the initial state to the fourth one. Is the loathing syndrome, loathing everything. So it's a professional designation, illness. And unfortunately, when people go to this fourth stage, it takes years. It's not something that I will take 2-week vacation and I will be fine. This is okay for tiredness. This is zero phase of the burnout. It's not burnout, it's tiredness. 2-week vacation is for that. Going from fourth stage of burnout takes years. And unfortunately, if with tiredness you go deep and then go to the same stage, with the burnout, you go really, really deep, and you never will go to the same level of energy that you had before burnout. So people who had several burnouts, their maximum amount of energy that they have, and mental energy, will be lower than what they initially had. And that's the problem. So please, please, please don't let yourself going to the fourth stage of burnout, because it's really problems with the brain that will never go back again. They will go a little bit, not a little bit, so you can go practically up to, but will never reach the initial level. It's difficult to understand it from the inside. It's difficult to understand what's happening. And there is a simple APGAR burnout test. When you can think about yourself, you can test yourself, or you can test people in your team, even not letting them know that you are testing them. APGAR, it's the same test as the newborn babies are tested, and you can sometimes hear, oh, we have a baby, it's 8 APGAR tests, so it's perfect, it's 9 APGAR tests, it's perfect, and it's tested in 5 points. One is appearance, and the same thing can be done with the burnout, and the same letters there as well. A for appearance. So is the person really really looks tired, or the person gains weight, especially water weight, so it feels puffy face and puffy body, or the person loses weight and doesn't look that it's in losing weight in the healthy way. Performance. Is the performance is struggling and it's for a person is really difficult to do the task, it takes more time. And sometimes it's close to be a workaholic, when people really spend more time on the same task, but they spend more time overall at work trying to complete the same amount of tasks. Growth tension. For the burnout persons, starting from stage 2, the first reaction on the change, even if something positive, some challenge, is panic. And it's again physiological reaction, it's panic. Sometimes I have an email, Anna, you are accepted for some conferences, or there is a customer who wants your input and something like that. And I said, oh my God, there's so many things there. No, it's not so many things there, it's really positive. But when I'm not in the good state, the first reaction is panic, that it's too much on the plate and I can't overcome that. Then affect control, emotions are negative. And in deep burnout, people can't control that emotions. So the boss shouting, initially he was like a nice guy, and now he starts shouting at people. It might be, it's like 80% that he's burnt out, so he can't control emotions. And relationships. So are people still communicating with their colleagues? Are they still positively communicating? Are they cynic or not? And you can calculate, like 0 point, I see significant issues there. 1 point, I see issues that are not extremely critical, and 2 points, no issues. So you have some from 0 to 10, and we can say that it's the same thing as for the newborn babies. As from 0 to 4, you really need life-saving measures. And so you need to really visit doctor. 4 to 6, the assistance is necessary, but we can still work inside the company, so not leaving the job still. So as managers or as leaders, not being doctors who can help these people. 7 plus, it's more or less okay. And what I recommend my clients is that they test every person in their team and have this APGAR burnout test score. And then in 2 months, test again. And in 2 months, test again. And see what the trend is. The trend can be stable. It's more or less fine if the initial is not like 4. It can go up. Usually, you need specific actions to go up, and this is what the course is about. Which action can lead a team go up in this score, and sometimes it's go down, and you need to understand that it's not really good, and you need some actions to first stabilize that, and then second to make it better. The problem, so some positive news, that if you are burned out, or if people in your team are burned out, it means that these are good people. So burnout hits the best. It's when expectations from yourself, or expectations from the job, expectations for what you can do are much larger than the reality. If you want more than you can do, there is a risk of being burnt out, but it means that you really want a lot. In some cases, reality is really bad. Expectations are sort of normal, but reality is really bad. But what I see with my clients is not that way. So reality is more or less normal, but expectations are really high from themselves. And when we're speaking about Agile and Agile coaching, we're in danger zone again, because we try to put in the best people, and Agile attracts the best people. And at the same time, we have really high expectations. Expectations from the team, that there will be no manipulative boss, that we will have access to our customers, that we will really see what impact we are doing to the world, and so on. So we have very high expectations from the process, from ourselves, from the customers, from the team, from everything. So we have a significant danger zone that moving to Agile can or trigger or make burnout worse. So we really need to understand how to make it or stable or make it a little better. There are good news as well, as Scrum as a framework has inbuilt mechanisms to work with burnout and to not allow people to go into the burnout. This is a slightly different training where there are 47 inbuilt procedures how you can improve productivity, not making people work too hard and moving them to burnout. So it's really, really exciting. What I'm proposing to my customers is called Agile Energy Phase, and it's a phase with a set of actions that form the MEMPLEX. When one action is fine, two better, three better, there are 17 basic items, and overall there are more than 40 things that you can do. And on the training, that is 12th and 13th of April, we will form something like a map that you can create to move yourself or your team out of burnout or just improve your productivity based on neuroscience, on psychology, cognitive things, cycle things, everything. Agile Energy Phase is a time-boxed thing. I recommend to do it for about 2 months, then test again, 2 months, and test again until the level is really on the first or on the 0 stage of burnout. So it's not the normal state. It's not how you work with the normal people. It's not the normal agile coaching or just life coaching techniques. So it's different. And to be able to help your team, to help your people to go out of the burnout, you should not be burnt out yourself. Because people, they will eat you. Because people in the burnout state, they really need energy. They really need energy from the outside. And if they see that you have a little bit more energy, they will just drink this energy from yourself. That is called energy contagion, and is like psychological mechanisms that everyone uses. So you need to have much more energy and have a really stable energy to be able to work with the burnout team and be safe yourself. Sorry. Okay. If we were doctors, if we are in neurosis clinic, for example, there are 3 burnout recovery rules. That you need to slow down, so you need to reduce the amount of tasks that are on your plate. You need to get professional support and to reevaluate goals and priorities that you have. You need to do this in all 3 things in one time, so it's not gradual things, so you need to do it all in once. And what I see that in like normal work environment, it's not possible to do. So it's neurosis clinic that you like sit there for 45 days, or a special medical spa center for about 3 weeks where you can do this, and it really helped. I did it myself, it really helps. But this is not what you can do with other people in the work environment when you still have projects to do, tasks to complete, and so on. So I took the same thing and did then what you can do in managerial recovery rules, what you can do as a manager or a team member to do this, not dropping things that you currently have. So first you need to recalculate the project, then restore the brain, and it's the largest piece there, to restore the brain to understand how it's working and how to work more efficiently, and to still have a lot of tasks, but not going down in the downward spiral in burnout. It's possible, difficult, but possible. To change how you make decisions. Main thing is to have correct decision points. And the 4th one is result authorizing, understanding that what result you want, what result you've got, and this is really your result. Our brain doesn't understand group result. If the result is a group result, we understand that we are together, we're a group. It's one type of the hormones, but this is not the hormone that allows us understand that it's our result and gives us energy to go to the next result. So we need to understand that it's really our result, and we can do it again. And next thing, I'm going to give a really short taster of technique from each of these main rules of these 4 pieces of, so what we can do there. 1 from 4, and initially there are more than 10 in each. So it's really a lot of things that you can do. So 4 practical tips here. The first tip is about recalculate the project, or how we work with the project differently, is show the future. For the normal people, the recommendation is to be here and now, to understand what you are doing, to understand that your body is here, and really ground yourself to be here and now. It's people become calmer, people start understanding what they're doing, and that's all fine. But it's all fine for the people in the normal mental conditions. For the people in the burned out state, they are all the time in here and now, just because they don't see the future. This closing the goals doesn't allow us to see the future, to plan the future. So the people are in the box of now, and they feel really uncomfortable because they can't plan. They don't see what's happening, that the future is present. They stop believing that the future is really happening. And as a manager or as a team member, you can and possibly need to help people to speak about the future. What are the project plans? Even if they change every 2 weeks, like in Scrum, we are able to change our plans, that's fine. You just, so you don't need to really stick with the plans that you told people. You just need to show them, to show their brains that future is real, that future is present. Show them the calendar with the release, show them the calendar with the meetings with the customers, show the calendar with meetings with the teams, that future is really happening. That relieves a huge amount of anxiety, that I'm only in this box, I'm alone in this box, and future is not happening. This is very short, very simple, really very powerful technique, and my customers are happy about that. And so it's possibly the simplest one that you have in Recalculate the Project one. Really love that. The second is from Restore the Brain thing. And the main thing here is that we are creatures that work in cycles. And there are several cycles that are in the day. And so there are short, medium, long. I will tell you about them in the training. And it's really important to follow them, because it's this is what helps you to save the brain. But in the same time, there is a week cycle. And what we have normally is 5 identical working days and 2-day weekend. It's really difficult to follow this rule. It's really difficult to follow this rule, as our brain is not designed for that. And our brain is designed for the following thing. In the week is it's like 7-day week, it's okay. But there are 2 cycles in a week, when one day is very active and challenging, the second is sort of medium, and third day is a really low activity day and practically no stress. So all days and there are 6 days like that, and 1 day absolute rest, digital detox if you are in digital work, something that really doesn't allow you to do what you are doing all the rest of the week. In fact, this gives you even more productive days, because your brain, if you try to make really active and challenging days, first day, second day, third day, brain starts understanding that you're, again, crazy, going to kill it, and starting to conserve energy, doesn't allow you to give your best in all days. Here you have at least 2 really powerful, active and challenging days. And other days might be calmer, or can be not that stressful. And that allows you to do these 2 really active days. And in fact, people do it in fact, people do it themselves. So people do it really. So you have a hard day, then you say, oh no, it was hard day yesterday. I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the power to do the same thing again, and so on. But it's something that how the brain is working. And if you want to put your team out of the burnout, you need to create the week structure, at least for the 5 days of the work week, when you follow this high stress day, medium, low, high, medium, and then it might be Saturday or something like that. It can be active day, then really low energy day, then third one, high, very low, medium. It depends on you, you need to test. So just think that there are 2 cycles in a week that, and every day is different. One of the great long cycles example is a Scrum Framework. When we have 2-week cycle and beginning and the end of the cycle is different, it's already a very good base for this week cycling. You just need to put these week cycles with high energy, medium, low energy days inside this cycle. And then it works even better than the initial one. I really love how Scrum Framework works with the brain and how it allows brain to work more effectively. So there are a lot of tips, it's just one of them. The third one is from the ODA loop that is about the decision points. And here, so the whole ODA loop is quite a large concept and it's really powerful and important. And the main thing is here is that to observe and to really do the job, we don't need to use our prefrontal cortex that has limited amount of energy. And when we use more energy than we have in prefrontal cortex, this is one of the reasons why we go into the burnout. But to be able to do tasks not using your cognitive abilities, not using your brain really, you need to create tasks that are understandable by the subcortical things, by reptilian and limbic system that do not, so they don't have words, they don't have cognitive abilities, but they're able to do a lot of tasks that and don't use prefrontal cortex energy. I want to share with you one simple tip that is in step 3. In step 3, decide and create tasks there. And usually, so when we create tasks, when we say, I want to approve the budget. So this is the task, approve the budget. Unfortunately, when you create tasks like that, this task depends not only on you, it depends also on the people around you. It's not in your control zone. And there are a lot of several things that you need to approve the budget. You need to create the draft, you need to send an email, you need to agree the time, you need to do this meeting, you need to then answer the questions, you need to update the draft and so on. And if you put this all into one task, all these items will still sit in your brain and use the energy in your brain. And even if you do like subtask 1 and subtask 2, it will still sit in your brain and waiting for other people. And how many tasks we have, which are not only in your control zone, but also you are waiting for some others, you're coordinating and so on. So normal managerial work. So, but it's all in your brain and it eats huge amount of energy. So we are going this downward spiral again. In this case, when we create a task on this step 3, decide, we need to create tasks not like approve the budget. We need to do it like send the budget draft to this person and propose a meeting time. Do what is in your control zone, and that's it. Then they will reply, then the task arises again. You do what is in your control zone, and that's it. And you even don't need to worry about what is not in your control zone and when it happen again. And then create a new task again. And then, so you save in amazing amount of energy if you set the task this way. And again, this is only 1/3 of the overall ODA loop. And this is powerful as well. So this is what helped me and what's helping my clients to reduce anxiety, and that it's willpower and it's a lot of energy from the prefrontal cortex. It makes life easier. And the fourth one, about result authorizing. One of the best things about result authorizing is coaching. When people understand how what is their goal can be linked with what they are planning to do, and concentrating on what will bring the best results from their actions towards their goal. That works well, again, with the normal people. Because when the person is burnt out, you ask, what is your goal? I don't have a goal. My goal is to survive right now. So there is no connection. So the problem is for the burned out person, because there is no connection of the action with the goal. And if you ask just, what's your goal? There is no goal, and that's the problem. So you put person deeper in the anxiety and understanding that it's not okay what's happening with him. So this is the classic coaching model, GROW model, set of questions. What I did with working with burned out clients is I modified this model, and it's not the simple GROW model, it's the GROW model, when the first is action. What are you currently doing, or what are you planning to do, like right now, very small action, physical action, or so what the task is. And then link not what the person's goal, and so what he's doing with the person's goal, but link just this action to what it might be part of. So what's the goal of this action? And then going again through the GROW model and possibly looping, what is the next step? What's happening now, what's already done, what can be the next step, what is the next step? And usually the initial action and the step that is the next step from the going through the GROW model, they are identical. And that's fine. We don't want to go through the GROW model to the real understanding what can be done next. We're doing this for the reason of making person understand what he's planning to do, how it links with the larger goal, and that action is really meaningful. We are restoring the meaning. We're restoring the link of what will be result of this action. This is yours result, and so on. So it's part of that, but it's really, really important part. So the normal coaching for burned out people is not working as well, unfortunately. So it adds more anxiety, it makes more nerves. So people don't feel good there. So that is why I had to update this model with a simpler thing. And what I really love about this, again, in the work environment, so what is your goal? So it sounds strange, really strange. This is coaching without request. This is prohibited. But just asking, what are you going to do? So what's larger task this is part of? So how it's going? It starts being a normal small talk or normal chat about the goals. And that allows you to link it without going deep into people, like brain is not starting real coaching. It's just a normal discussion about the task, again, allowing to link what the person is planning to do with the goals, and then with the result, and then the result will be his result. These are, I think, so the four things that I shared, it's really, so my main challenge was to put something that you can do right now and something meaningful from a large amount of tips, and it's really less than 10% here. And so I'm really happy to share more. And we on the course, we will not only, I will describe you, but we really play about that. We will break our tasks in the way that our brain understands. We will physically go through the GROW model. We will go through the EBGA test together. So really create the map, the journey map, how you can help your team, or how you first help yourself to become a better leader, who can help their team and create better process, and it's possible. It will not take less than 2 months, but 2 months is really nothing if you think about years and years that people will take themselves to go from the 4th level of the burnout. And it's really, it's interesting, and it's very meaningful type of activity when you help people to go out of the burnout. No, I'm not like saying about saving lives, but saving the quality of life. It's about that. That's it. So that course will be 12th and 13th April in London, and Adventures with Agile are kindly helping me with organizing this course. So all questions there will go to them.